Let me try to explain that. Actually, it's here. This is an interesting problem that. Okay, so imagine we're just thinking about the adjacency matrix now, and it's all the nodes are all jumbled. So this is just like a big mess. But it could be, and maybe you really have like 3 big groups, and if you ordered them, the list of nodes, such as you listed the first group first, and then the second group, and then the third group, you're going to get this big kind of block structure in the adjacency matrix, right? Because if you just think of ones and zeros, there are going to be a lot of ones between all of these nodes because they're connected to each other, a lot of ones because these nodes, and then maybe some speckles outside. So you should be able to. So if that's what you're looking for, right? You want to reorder your list of nodes so that you've got some really nice block structure, and maybe there's some stuff out here and so on. But if there are really 4 major communities in this, this network, right? And there's some in between, but lots of internal connections, something like this. You should be able to shuffle things such you see this, right? So you want to go from big mess like this with no structure to this. And what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, well, I could pick up node I and j. They appear here in this order and here, and swap them, right? I'm just going to swap where they appear and swap where they appear here. And if that helps, like if that puts more weight next, near the diagonal, then we'll say, that's a better choice. And you just keep trying to do that. So what does it mean to have a weight that's close to the diagonal? Well, you could penalize the thing, right? You could say, I really want nothing out here because I don't want to have, a node that's a long way away from each other in the list. 2 nodes that are a long way away from each other in the list that are connected. So we're going to say that's really bad. So if there's a 1 out here, we're going to do it. Right, these 2 nodes are connected. We're going to shuffle it so that we get them as close as possible. Right, so again, 1 to n, I to j. These are just, it's an adjacency matrix, just thinking about ones and zeros. There's a 0 if they're not connected, 1 if they're connected. So we could say a cost matrix could have these entries. It's just going to be the difference between I and j. It's some function of the difference between I and j, right? So because I minus j is going to give us this, how far apart they are here. That's all we need. So that's going to be something we want to penalize it with. So we want it to be monotonically increasing. So here's a weird thing. We could just say, let's make it a square, right? So I minus j squared. Okay, so we're going to say, let's sum up this adjacency matrix multiplying I minus j squared. So every entry has this I minus j squared attached to it. So it turns out that matrix, though, is, and this is sort of a funny thing that I guess I just discovered messing around in MATLAB, that's a rank 3 matrix independent of n. Right? So rank 3 is the number of, it's a symmetric matrix. So in this case, it means that you've got all these eigenvalues that are 0 except for 3 of them. It's pretty weird, and you can actually figure this out. I don't know what to do with this. This is a thing that's just sitting here. This is weird. You can actually determine these eigenvalues completely for that matrix. These are the non-zero eigenvalues. There's a negative one, a positive one, and a negative. This one, well, it depends a little bit. There's sums, right? These pieces. This is actually all true. This is all true. So we can rewrite that that matrix as lambda 1 and then outer products of v1 v2 v1 v1 transpose, v2 v2 transpose, v3 v3 transpose. This is a linear algebra sort of thing, I suppose, but that's pretty weird. And here are the eigenvectors. You can actually specify the eigenvectors, and they have very clean structures. This one has a linear aspect to it. This one has and these two have parabolic structures in them. So it feels like you might be able to do something smart, like clever with this, right? And then we have, here's our matrix can be written like this, and it doesn't matter if n is a bazillion, right? Okay. Anyway, so that's just sort of sitting there. If that's of interest to you, then maybe we should talk about it. It feels like we could do something really clever, but maybe it's all, I'm sure you've done this, right? Where you solve something, we talked about this the other day, where you've got some big page of algebra, and you substitute some things, and you're substituting some more things, and it's all going well, but your brain has managed to substitute everything back, and then you end up with the first line at the end. It's probably, I don't know, maybe that's happened to you, it's happened to me. It's getting simpler. Well, there's that, right, okay, so there's that possibility as well. Yeah, best to, keep it in a box until you're really sure. Anyway, it's odd that you can solve this and get the structure. Okay, all right.